So I've done a video about my whistle racks in the past, but Scott, one of my friends, was doing a video about how people store their whistles and flutes. So I figured I'd go ahead and put something, do a quick tour. But this is the latest one that I built, and I specifically made it for my bass whistles. But I've just kind of, I don't have that many bass whistles, so I ended up storing some high whistles at the top, which I feel like looks a little bit goofy. I should have made the smaller holes toward the top. But basically, I just clamped two long pieces of wood together, and I used a drill press to and a forstner bit to drill out holes, and then I used my miter saw to cut these angles. So I could see you doing the same stuff with like a power drill, with a Forstner bit or a hole saw bit, and then a hand saw to finish off that angle. It probably could be done the same way if you're careful about the angle that you drill. And then a piece of backing material, and I just screwed it into place. So there, each one of these has basically taken me like an evening to make, and then I paint over it. But the only thing that I don't really like about them is that anything that is kind of a conical bore doesn't quite sit perfectly horizontal and messes up the aesthetic just a little bit. Or if it's got like a big tuning collar like this, it kind of sits at an angle, so it's not perfectly horizontal. And then the other thing is I feel like a vertical storage might be better for moisture management, but at the same time, I feel like there's plenty of airflow around these. So unless you're just constantly getting it wet and sticking it back on the rack, I don't see that being a huge issue. I think they dry out fine. Anything where you enclose it after you play and you leave it that way, I think that's where you start having problems with corrosion and maybe mold. So I wouldn't recommend storing your whistles closed in an enclosed space. I know Scott mentioned my Copeland box that I made out of is like a screen projector screen box. And that I usually, if I if I do put my Copeland into it, I'll leave it open so the Copeland can dry. But that's the one thing that I don't really like about the enclosed storage is I feel like I need to open it to let the stuff air out. But this is the other. Let's see. This one over here is my first whistle rack that I made, and you can see this one I actually varied the hole diameter. So I have the larger holes here, and then it transitions to smaller holes that are spaced closer together toward the top, so I could do more alto, fit a few more alto and soprano whistles in there. I also have a line of holes in the back. The ones down here I didn't make quite big enough. They don't accommodate like the Berks with the big chunky tuning slide collars on them. Then this one here is one that I made out of some scrap wood that I found on like a bulk pickup day. It was like a towel drying rack. I just cut the dowels out of it, and again, just clamp it together. Drilled some stuff with my drill press and the Forstner bits, and some extra holes back in the back. This one is pretty much all the whistles and flutes that I play. I play most often. So I've got mostly the regular keys in the front. I've got sharps and flats in the back, and had my Lasuf on this, but I just put it in a humidifier box since the humidity started dropping. But I've got my Copeland whistles and carbony. I play my carbony flutes quite a bit, but pretty much I try to grab like the whistles that I am going to play the most, the ones I typically reach for. I put them onto this rack. And the nice thing about it is I'm a messy guy, but if I have a designated place for something, this is super easy for me to put my stuff away. Everything has a place until I get too many whistles for everything. But the only other one I have is this one I whipped up really fast for holding something. I think I was trying to get like a space for every key that was on a Brian Finnegan album. Um, it's his Ravishing Genius of Bones album. And then I have a cup with a bunch of just cheapy whistles in it. I think it's like a coffee can. So yeah, and then that's my humidifier box. I have a smaller container inside with some holes in it. I keep it filled with water, and it keeps the humidity around like 50-60%. So works out pretty well. See my debris on the top. But yeah, so pretty pretty straightforward, and I you can store quite a few whistles on it. And the only other issue is that if I have, my daughter has a cat. We have a cat, and the kitten has come over here and tried to climb on this. And so if you have something where anyone can access or might get bumped, there is the risk that someone can hit something and drop things off. But I haven't had any catastrophic losses. I think at some point maybe you could attach like a strap or something that you just run down here. Maybe it could Velcro down here or have a button or something, or even just be weighted, and that might just put a little bit of pressure to keep those things from falling off. But for the most part, keeping them in a spot where I'm not walking past, and then now I've had to watch the cat and make sure the cat is not trying to climb this this as a ladder. It seems to keep everything pretty safe. So anyway, hopefully that is helpful.